Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the review of the Doncaster Rovers game from the FA Cup. Just hoping to bring in Paul Holden anytime soon. I've just messaged him, so hopefully he will be coming on. So just a quick recap. Palace today played Doncaster Rovers in the FA Cup fifth round, and they came out 2-0 winners at the Keep Moat. Absolutely fantastic atmosphere, and I think the place was absolutely rocking. As I said to you, Paul Holden's coming on with me tonight, so hopefully somewhere, and somewhere wherever he is, you know what it's like. With Facebook Live, it's always difficult because you're hoping that someone's got is watching and they're waiting to come on live. So anytime now, Paul should be coming on. What I'll do is while we're waiting for Paul, I'll give you the lineup of the team. The team that faced Doncaster today was Hennessy, Ward, Kelly, Dan Van Arnholt, Luca, Maya, Schlupp, Townsend, Ayew and Michy Batshuayi. We certainly did start up in a... Here comes Paul. We started in a 3-3-3, 4-3-3 with Batshuayi at the single man up front with Ayew and Townsend either side. And the midfield, we played quite a narrow midfield with Schlupp, Luca and also Maya, who I thought had a reasonable game. Just waiting on... Oh, it's all frozen. I hope you guys can still see me because it seems... Can't always get the technology. Doesn't always work, does it? I'm still waiting on Paul. Paul, what I'll do is if you can just... I'm going to delete you for a second and try again to come in. 1 second. So, yeah. It was started. Hi, James. Good afternoon. Good evening, even. This is the problem with these early kickoffs. You get all these 4 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday. You get lost. I thought the side that we started off was a reasonable side. It was very good. You know, it wasn't the team that we were expecting sort of a not a so strong team. Not probably the team you would see for a normal league game. Paul, just press on the add in. Sorry, guys, we're having problems with the technology. This is the problem with Facebook Live, and this is the thing we've always... every time we've done a live, it's trying to get people in. So if there's anybody out there at the moment who wants to join quickly while Paul's trying to figure it out, then please do so. It was a cagey start from both sides. I was expecting Doncaster to come at us a bit more than they actually did. I think the commentators noticed that in the first half quite a bit. They started. It was a very, very cagey first 10 minutes, but we scored obviously on the 8th minute through Jeffrey Schlupp, which was a fantastic goal actually. When you look at how it worked, I mean, Schlupp was put through in his own half, and run literally from the halfway line all the way to the penalty area and managed to get it through the defender's legs. It sort of took a deflection, it took a deflection and went into the bottom right hand corner. It was a very good, well taken goal actually. I was very surprised at the way that I thought Doncaster were going to come at us a bit more. I know they put pressure on us straight away. I didn't think they did. I thought they are a better side than that, and I think the commentators mentioned that. They said that they were expecting them to be far more assertive than they were at home, and we managed to take the initiative. I think they were very quiet after that. It took a bit of time for them to get into the game. I thought Palace were very strong in the first half. They defended like they would do in a Premier League game. It was very much a game where Palace soaked up all the pressure that they were given And I don't think Hennessy had much to do in the first half whatsoever. He was very much a bit part player. The only thing that I will mention a lot about is the fact that the Doncaster players were good at putting pressure on us. And I think the sort of makeshift back four that we have, I mean, I know we're saying makeshift because, I mean, they should know each other, pretty much, Dan and Kelly, Ward as well, and Van Aanholt. But it was very much, they were very much made to make errors. They were pushed to make errors by Doncaster, especially by players like, by Coppinger and May, and I've forgotten the name of the guy that was on the, who was up front as well for Doncaster, as well as Coppinger, who's pushing and constantly. I think he's a Palace fan that went going to the commentator. Maybe that's why he didn't play as well. They made Palace make mistakes because of the pressure that was put on them, especially Dan and Hennessy. I thought Hennessy today, he didn't have much to do. I don't know if that was half the reason why we had issue. Why Hennessy wasn't, probably as up for it as he could have been, because he didn't really do very much in the first half. And every time the ball went back to him, he was second to it, or he missed it. I mean, at one point it went out for a corner because he literally took his eye off the ball, he hit his foot, and then just didn't do anything with it, did he? He just went rolling out of play. So they put pressure on us, and I think that was mainly a lot of mistakes from our point of view. And as I say, Palace were set up to hit them on the counter, and that's how our first goal came. The midfield today was I would say very, very good. I thought Luca was fantastic first half. Very much the calm figure on the ball. Everything came through him, it seemed. I thought Maya sort of came in. It was quite good. It was okay in the first half. Second half, I thought he went a bit quiet. It was a bit more the fact that I thought that Luca was the best player on the pitch by far. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that. As for the front three, Mitchie was, I don't know today. I don't think it was his fault entirely. I just thought he was very quiet today. Had a few opportunities which were half chances and sort of hit the defence. Jack saying PVA missed Zaha, would always keep him back, and Paul Holden said PVA needs to be pushed forward on the wing. One point he looked like he was going to be offside from creating opportunity up front. I think the thing is the fact when you've got Wilf there in the wing rather than Ayew, Wilf will do that. He will be able to hold the ball up, playing PVA, plays in those little neat triangles with PVA and also with Maya, so that when the three of them are playing together, it helps. I just think Ayew is not a winger. I don't know what it's to see him play out wide. When I saw the team lineup today, I think I put into the chat itself that I thought I wasn't sure if they were going to play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 because we could have set up both ways. I was hoping we'd more play 4-4-2 because I think Ayew is a sort of player that can chase down and win balls from the defenders, sort of put pressure on the defence and then play the ball off and hold the ball up for Mitchie to come in. And I think that's half the problem. Michy Batshuayi really isn't a lone striker, and he was played as such. And I think he needs to be played off of somebody, or as I say, when we play against in the Premier League, when we got Wilf and Meyer and Schlupp, etc. They play those neat triangles, and he works well in that sort of environment, and you'll get goals that way. But today just didn't really do very much. Paul says, "Ayew played all right. Had a willing to fight for the ball and create. Just lacks that end product." I just think that today that there was one opportunity. I can't remember if it was in the first or second half, where all Ayew had to do was really just pass it across the goal, and it was Michy Batshuayi waiting there and somebody else. And he didn't pull it back. He tried to go for goal from a really acute angle. Evening, Adam. So I mean, I thought Ayew, I think he's more of a striker. He's not made to play out wide. And if anything, if I was to say anything in regards to that, I would have said I'd rather have seen Schlupp or PVA play out wide. But obviously it's a factor when you've got PVA is only pretty much the only fit left back. Schlupp isn't exactly a left back. He plays better in midfield. So you would have to say that it'd be Schlupp going out wide on the left rather than Ayew. But I mean, that's my opinion. Paul Holden, Ward, Kelly and Dan look solid for a back three. The thing is, Ward, as I said to you, said in earlier, that the big problem with the back four for me was the against the League One side, you're going to have pressure put on you, and they didn't look comfortable at times when they were pushed. I'm not saying they had a bad game. I thought they defended quite well at points, but when you've got pressure on you, you're going to get pressure from a League Two club. League One club. Apologies. And they're going to put pressure on your back four. They're going to chase down everything because obviously in the Premier League you've got a bit more time. No, you're not being ignored, Matt. You're not being ignored. I'm just trying to see what's coming up. It's not always easy to see because I've got literally a centimetre box at the bottom where things are coming up. So I'm having to scroll through very, very, So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, and I've seen your comment, by the way. I will come back to it at some point. So, yeah, I mean, the first half came to the slowly came to an end, and we were towards you. I think where were we? It was the 47th minute. It was in the added time. This was probably the best piece of play of the whole game, and it was a fantastic goal. It was so well worked, and as I said, Luca in the first half was absolutely fantastic. Everything seemed to go through him. He was the most calm, composed player on the ball. And the goal came from him where he was in the Donny half. We were on the attack, and he saw out on the right-hand side Andros running forward, and literally waited a beautiful ball over the top of the Donny defence for him to run onto the end of, which then Andros sort of took in the stride, knocked it across the far post, and there was Meyer with the most grateful header in the bottom corner to make it 2-0 at half time. And I think at that point, we sort of we sort of took the foot off the gas after that. I thought the second half. So at that 2-0 up, you're looking comfortable. And second half we came out, and I thought Donny really took it to us, and I thought they played exceptionally well. Marquise is the player I'm thinking of. Played really well. Also Coppinger, who actually was taken off. I think he was taken off on the where were we? Yeah, on the 64th minute. And they brought Sadlier on, who actually had not a bad game either. And they brought Crawford off and brought Rowe on the 64th as well. But I mean, they took it to a second half, and you've got to say that Doncaster Rovers actually played exceptionally well. You wouldn't have thought they were in League One at all. I mean, you can tell that they are a team on the up, and you can tell they're doing that while they're top of the league. You were expecting them to come out the second half and really give it to Palace, and they had plenty of opportunities. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats and the possession for the game, and Palace had 52% and Donny had 48%, which for at home you'd expect them to have quite a bit of possession, but with a Premier League club coming out, there's always that problem where I think we've done it when we've had bigger teams come to us, where you respect the opposition too much and give them too much time. They didn't do that, and it's credit to Doncaster. I think they were fantastic all game. They had 19 shots on goal to our 12, only 5 of those on target. Palace only had 4. So, again, that's that. There's always that problem with Palace at the moment. It's a fact against in the Premier League that's showing that we need to be having more of our shots on target, most definitely. But they did defend very well, I thought, in parts, Doncaster. They had 11 corners to our 7. Most of those came in the second half. In the first half, sorry, not in the second half. Most of them came in the first half, those corners. And they had 12 fouls to our 7. I think second half it was more game management from Palace. We'd done what we needed to do. We got the 2 goals. I thought we could have really have pushed a lot more than we did. But I think we just played it out, and it was a professional performance from Crystal Palace. Sometimes we do moan about Palace and their game management from time to time. and that we don't sort of sometimes hold out games properly, and we sort of play about a bit. But today, the management of the game was very good. As I say, we soaked up the pressure we needed to soak up. Um, you know, it was fantastic. Paul Holden saying thoughts on the support from the HF. Did they come across well at the game and on TV? Well, listen, I mean, I wasn't there. You guys were. I know you were there, Paul. I think, and I know a few other people who were there, and they said the atmosphere was absolutely electric from start to finish. I've seen nothing but praise for our support on social media from Doncaster fans saying we were fantastic. I don't think we stopped the whole game, and that is credit to the HF, who were banging their drum, making noise for the full 90 and beyond. They were. I know I was proud being a Palace supporter watching it on the television today, and just thinking how fantastic our support really, really was. I know, and I'm going to go back to that comment that you made earlier, Matt. I'd like to discuss. I'd like you to discuss with everyone how nice it was for management staff to mention all the fans today. They said we won the match for them. We are the 12th man. How nice! Roy's comments were amazing. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I mean, it's great when you get. I think that we know the players are always, very appreciative of the fans. Even when you're looking at social media, whether it's Andros Townsend, Wilfried Zaha, whoever it is on social media, PVA, they all thank the fans every single week. And it's not, as and Roy said, it's not easy to quieten a crowd like Doncaster's in a game like this. It's not. And I thought they were very quiet. We managed to quiet the crowd down. At times we were controlling the game, even though we didn't have we probably didn't see as much of the ball as we probably would want to. Okay, we had 54% of the possession, but we were controlling the game even when we didn't have the ball. I don't think they really had much until the second half. They weren't really doing very much. But the fans really lift the team. And I think there were 900 of us up there today. And they were fantastic. Each and every one of you were fantastic. There's no doubt in that. And I think, I'm just looking at the comments that Roy said. He also said it's good that we are there in the quarterfinals. I'm very proud of that. Today we owe an amazing debt to our fans. I don't quite know how they got there with the problems with the trains, and I thought we were playing at home for large periods of the game. Can't disagree with that. It's not easy to quiet a crowd like Doncaster's in a game like this. We owe them a great debt of gratitude, and we hope we can reward them by winning our quarterfinal and hopefully getting a home tie. Going on to Doncaster manager as well, I'm going to mention what Doncaster's manager Grant McCann said. He said, we played the game really well. It was a good game, but we saw the difference with a Premier League team. I thought between the boxes we were good, but in the final third we didn't get enough shots away. We matched them for large periods, but if you give players of that standard those chances, it will be hard. The goal before the break took the wind out of our sails a bit. We like to get about teams. That's how we approach it. But we're not going to leave anything in the changing room, and we gave it a good go today. Can't disagree. As I say, they did play exceptionally well. Paul Holden, a question for some point in the show. Who does everybody want in the next round, home or away? Having seen who's gone through, I agree with Darren. I wouldn't mind Swansea at home. That would be a good one. Having said that, who wouldn't want Wimbledon? Or did Wimbledon go there? It was Millwall, wasn't it? Millwall beat me yesterday. Who wouldn't want Millwall or Brentford even? Or Brentford have gone out as well. They lost to Swansea. So it shows you how much I take notice of the other teams around us. As long as we don't get Man United. So I would like Millwall. Or something of that. Swansea would be fantastic as well. But who else? I mean, Matt Stark is saying Millwall, Swansea. Yeah, I think who else is out there who wants to comment? Adam Harper saying we'll end up with Swansea or Millwall away. I think the thing is, out of all the games that are in that are left, the teams that are left, they're probably the teams that you would want to pick up. You wouldn't want to be looking at the Man Cities or the Wolves or even Brighton. I wouldn't want to pick them up just yet. I mean, there for me would be the semi-final for us. United final. I want Brighton in the final, to be fair. I think that would be a perfect final, really, for the end of our season. And Paul Holden saying it would be bloody Watford. That would be our semi-final again. They'll want revenge. But anyway, no. So that's basically the review of the game. Anybody else got any thoughts, or anybody want to come on and have a chat about it? If you want to come on, there is a little icon on the bottom of the screen which you can. It's just got a plus or a minus. You know, that you can come on and join me in the chat. I know Paul was supposed to come on, but for some reason technology has failed us. So if you want to come on, if anybody want to come on, let me know. We've got plenty of time. I mean, it's a fact of what time is it now? It is 10 to 9. So if anyone wants to come on, let me know. Matt, do you want to come on and have a chat? Paul, try again. Oh, Matt Stark's coming on. While I'm waiting for Matt, let's have a look at what else is coming on. Brighton won't get that far. Don't be so sure, Paul. I think they'll get to the semi-finals as long as they don't fail you. Good evening, Matt. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, I've just realised how fat I look.
Mate, we all look fat. You got about 10 pounds on you.
Yeah. No, I thought we played well today, mate. I watched it at home and I thought Mitchie was a bit quiet, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Well, did you think he did very much at all? Because I don't think he did at all, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't, to be fair. But I'll tell you, a player that's underrated for Palace is Schlupp, because everyone underrates him and he puts in performances.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I thought he had a very good game. I think the last couple of games he's been really good. And I don't know, you obviously follow social media like I do. But, there's been a lot of people slating him game after game. And I think it's been really...
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Oh, I've gone there, mate.
You're coming back in and out. I can see your finger.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. To be fair, I know what's going to happen in the draw tomorrow. We're either going to get the winners of Chelsea and Man United or Man City. 100% on that.
Yeah, I know. I think we're always... That is the fear, isn't it? Because it's a fact of you want to draw an easier team in. And Palace never do it the easy way, do they?
No, and the thing is, though, we're not going to beat Man City again this season.
No, they're not going to want us to do that again.
Yeah, I know.
So, while I'm at it, who was your man of the match today, Matt?
To me, I would say Martin Kelly.
Martin Kelly, yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you think he was the man of the match?
I don't like him. He's a good... But whenever he plays for Palace, he puts a shift in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he was good against West Ham as well when he came in for Tompkins, who was injured, wasn't he? I mean, he played very well.
Yeah, so... All right, then, mate.
So, I mean... Go on. Yes, sorry. You're going to go, yeah?
Take care, mate. Nice to see you, John.
And you, mate. Take it easy, yeah? Cheers for coming on, mate.
Bye.
No worries. Cheers. All that excitement of having somebody else on and I pressed the wrong button. Oh my good grief. I am so sorry, everybody. If you I pressed the wrong button. Oh dear. Right. So what I'll have to do is I will have to I'll have to merge these together. Yeah. If you've only just joined us, I do apologise. I just had Matt Stark on. And then I pressed the wrong button to end it. I've ended it rather than actually taking him out, not me. So we're back on live. Do apologise, guys. What I'll do is I'll knit them together later on, and we'll put them in one full video. So that's the other question I was going to ask you today. Who was your man of the match? Matt's was Martin Kelly. Anybody else got any more? Would like to come on and tell me who their man of the match was? Anybody want to come on and talk about any certain players or about the game today? Just let me know. It'll come up at the bottom of the screen. As I say, there is a little. There we go. Laurie wants to come in, and I'll bring in Laurie. Let's hope this time I don't scream. Right, Laurie's just coming in. Takes a few seconds, so guys, just give him a chance. I've got James watching again, Matthew watching again, Stephen Branson is watching. Laurie is going to be in any second, hopefully. Still saying, adding, there's Laurie. Hello, Laurie. How are you, mate?
Hi, John. Can I evening?
Not having a good one already. The technology's letting me down twice already in one night. Let's get central. Right, okay. So, what was your thoughts on the game today then, Laurie?
Basically, I mean, it was never going to be easy because you have to accept that that's Doncaster's cup final.
Yes.
So I think the lads did well, and it was a typical Roy sort of setup. He went with a little bit of degree of caution in his lineup. I think everyone was craving for the Benteke and Batshuayi partnership.
Yeah.
I think he's just a little bit more reserved on that, but he did give Max Meyer a start. And to be fair, I thought he was our man of the match.
Yeah, What did you think made him man of the match for you today, Laurie?
Well, I thought that the thing I like about Max in midfield is he draws players towards him, and he's got quick feet, and he's very quick to turn, and if he can just get that final pass away, which very often he does, and in the last game he linked well with Wilf, as we know, after their apparent previous spat. But I thought they worked well together, and I think it augurs well for the future.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say to you was, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, because I said in the preview, the review of the game, I said that I thought Ayew out on the left probably wasn't in the right position, but when you've got Wilf out there, he does link up well with PVA and with Meyer. So I agree with you on that. Did you think Ayew is more of a centre forward than a winger? Because I didn't think he played very well today. As much as he had his moments, I didn't think Ayew was as good as he possibly could be.
I think the problem with Ayew is we probably expect more from him than what his actual ability has. But that said, I never will doubt someone that's 100% committed, and I think with Ayew you get that. I mean, I've been watching Palace for many, many years, and I never fought someone that gives 100% for the shirt. I've seen a few players that haven't, but to be fair to Ayew, he puts in a shift, but I think on an ability scale, Swansea is perhaps where he should be now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, on that then, who would you start up front next weekend against Leicester in the Premier League?
Well, I think it's got to be Benteke. I think possibly after Batshuayi's showing today, because he didn't really, to my mind, he didn't really show a great deal. And what I don't really like about him too much is if we're using him as a target man, he doesn't win very many in the air. He tends to like duck underneath it and hope the defender misses it. Well, in the Premier League, that doesn't happen. He looks to try and get that quick turnaround on the defender if they miss the long ball through, but I don't think that's going to happen. So certainly I would see Wilf and Andros sort of pushing crosses across for the, we're only going to play one up front, let's be fair. Yeah. He's not going to risk playing two. So that sort of Wilf and Andros can tuck back as well into the midfield to sort of make a five if necessary.
Okay. I mean, also, what were your thoughts on the defending side of things today? I mean, we were put under pressure by Donny, and we did make some mistakes today, quite a few of them, including one that was a back pass from Dan where Hennessy just wasn't looking at one point. I don't think he was actually had his eye on the ball, and he went out for a corner.
Yeah, again, I think that's an element of us trying to control the match, and I'm always a great believer is, go forward. Let's not pass it back all the time. Let's go forward. We have to accept that, Ward, Dan and Kelly are not our first choice 3 out of that 4. Ward been a great servant for the Palace, but obviously gets caught out a little bit in terms of pace. And if an attacker does get a little bit of a run on him, then I think, you might as well say, good night. He doesn't stop the crosses coming over the same as Aaron does. But I think they were reasonably solid. If you look back at the chances, Donny didn't really have that many, did they?
No, that's very true. They were very much regulated to shots from distance as well, which I thought was quite good. I think they had in the second half they had a couple of headers in the box which were dangerous as such, but they were straight at Hennessy anyway. So no, they didn't have many shots. So I mean, other than that, I mean, thanks for coming on, Laurie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Paul
You're
Holden
welcome.
on next. He's going to try and get him back on. But thank you for joining me, mate.
Press the right button then.
I will take. Yeah, not going to cut you all off. Thanks so much, mate. Take care. Right, there we go. We're gonna continue with where we go. That's it. Right. So, Paul, are you going to come back on again, mate? I know you were in there waiting. I'm going to add you. I can't do so. Anybody else want to come on? Richie, don't come on. I know you've had a couple to drink tonight already. But yeah, Paul Holden saying we defended well. Good evening, John. Good evening, John Knox. Paul Holden saying Benteke, Batman, and possibly Zaha in a 4-3-3. And then saying what was a team performance, so tricky picking a man in the match. But if I had to pick, it would be PVA. But he's in the wrong position. Who else we got? I think that's basically it. Well, what I'm going to do is, if there's anybody else who wants to come on, let me know. If not, then what I'll do is I'll give it a couple of seconds. What we'll do is, anyway, I will say during the week you'll have the hi Sean. We'll have the usual player prediction on. We'll have it this week on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then we'll do the game review for next weekend, which is Leicester City away, and I believe that's the 5:15 kickoff, which is going to be on. I think it's on BT Sport, isn't it? So that one won't finish till late. So what we'll do is I'll think about that. Have a word with Sean and whoever else, and see if we do a live one on the Sunday rather than the Saturday to make it easier. Because obviously by the time we do it, it'll be late anyway. So anyway, guys. Yeah, even Richie Tennant just said evening. All that's me just in. Right, man of the match has to be Kelly according to Harry Sales. Jack Barwell, who do we want in the next round? I've got Paul wanting to come in now. Let's just try and get Paul on, because have been trying to get Paul in all evening, and he tends to. John, really enjoyed it. Thanks, mate. It means a lot. I mean, it's a fact that this is not the technology you want to be using, because it's not fail safe at all. So thank you very much for watching, and I really do appreciate it. And as I say, spread the news around about the group and what we're doing, and we were having fun with it. We're trying to make it so it's not so serious, and chatting like we were doing in a pub or a bar, and that sort of thing, and that's just what we want to do. Jamie Skinner, Millwall at home, not a bad one. Sam Gourlay, man of the match has to be Wayne. Solid display. That's an interesting one, Sam. Not many people have said Wayne today, so that's good. Keep your comments coming in. John, you need Virgin Wi-Fi. I don't think this is my Wi-Fi, actually. I think this is to do with Paul's. Paul's in a hotel somewhere. The Wi-Fi hasn't been too bad my end, and I've had Laurie on and also Matt, and it hasn't been so bad. But unfortunately, I think Paul's hotel Wi-Fi is actually letting him down. Which one game from Wembley, we are indeed. I mean, if I was going to go for my man in the match, I think I've said it. It was Luca. I think for me, he was calm on the ball. He was fantastic. I thought he was brilliant. But so I would have thought it would have been him. Sean wants to come in, so I'll bring Sean in. Hopefully he's not in a tent in Surrey somewhere, doing his scouting. So yeah, what else we got? Who do we? As I say, I think quite a few of us covered who we want next round. I'm having trouble now with Sean. I'll try Sean again. Try and add you in, Sean. Have you got a problem with your internet, mate? Ah, there we go. Sean, good evening.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
Not too bad. So I'm gonna do the John impression. Are you ready?
Go on then. Yeah.
They're not my glasses, but they're not mine.
No.
I thought
So
I would.
anyway, mate, what did you think of the game anyway?
I thought it was quite a bad game actually. I know we won, and I'm going to take it down, but the first half we won, and it was. I thought it was impressive the way we won it, and the way having IU even on the left wing, we still win. Although I thought it was quite greedy. The second half, I just thought, how are we a Premiership team, and how are they League One? How are they a League One team?
What I'll ask
Makes
you on
no
that.
sense.
What I'll ask you on that is, did you not think that it was more a fact of a professional performance where we decided that we'd score the 2 goals and just soak up the pressure because we knew Donny were going to come at us anyway. They're that sort of side in League One. They do come at teams. They do sort of put pressure on, and they were putting pressure on us. It just, to me, I don't know what you thought, but to me, it looked like we were playing to a game plan where we just sat back, we soaked up the pressure, and then made the foray into the half when we needed to, rather than it was more a fact of, rather than as a necessity to go into their half, we just sat back and then played the game out. It was more game management than anything else. What did you think?
I think in a way it works that way, but carrying out the second half, 45 minutes just to sit back and defend. In one hand, you can say it worked really well and we didn't concede. At some points, I did think we were going to concede with all the pass backs to Hennessy, and we're not going to talk about Hennessy. Just doesn't work.
Well, somebody's already said that he was their man of the match. What do you think about that? Because you seem to sound like you weren't too happy with the way he played today.
I'm gonna say fair play that someone's actually shouted him out for a man of the match performance. I think. Look, I got a squeaky chair. I think there was quite a few man of the matches actually. I think Luca played a part. For me, Luca was my man of the match. Max Meyer, man of the match. Schlupp, massive part again. I think Dan was solid. He didn't do much, but when he did have to, he forced his bodily weight onto the players instead of causing a foul. And that's when either the ball went out for a throw-in on the far sides, or it went off for a goal kick. I'm sorry,
Right.
this chair's going to
That's all right. Also, you're a bit crackly, but anyway, we'll carry on. One thing I was going to point out, and there's actually a good point here from Richie, and I hadn't pointed this out in the review. There were 2 penalty shouts during the game. What were your views on those? There was one off a corner from Luca, which came in, and the Donny player put his hand up in the air and palmed it away palmed it out for another corner. And there was another one which I thought was far more clear cut.
Let's go with the first one. The first one that you just talked about, aiming from the corner.
Yeah.
It's been kicked, and as it spun round, the Donny player tried to bend his arm round, so as it curved round, he tried to get out of the way of it. So I think for that sense, he wasn't trying to get in the way of the ball; he was trying to get out of the way, and it wasn't a wacky hand in the air that shouldn't be there. So for me, I think the first one wasn't a penalty. I think the second one, where he went all guns blazing, sliding in, he's put his hand down as he's gone sliding in, and his hand caught the ball as PVA has passed it back in to the box. I think that is a pen, because his hand shouldn't be there. I think Danny Murphy on BBC One said, when I go sliding in, my hands are by my sides. So I don't know why the hand was there. I think maybe for balance, but
You've got to give him something, though. He didn't half style it out because he got up holding his head.
and how the referee didn't pick that up, I don't know.
I don't know how the referee missed that one, and I thought it was a penalty. The first one was, I don't think Mike Dean had a clear enough view anyway. There's players in the way, and I don't think he would have seen it. So I mean, even with VAR, I don't know. I don't think it was. Do you think it was deliberate, the first one?
No, I don't. I think they got the first one spot on. There was no VAR, obviously, at Doncaster.
No VAR, no.
It's not a shame, but I think every ground should. I know that's then going to deprive other grounds, let's say Newport, the smaller clubs, where they don't maybe have the stand for them to go and they have to pay out for it. But then
I think that's the big issue with VAR, is the fact that the problem is going to be is that the smaller clubs won't have VAR. And so it's going to be very difficult to actually do it in FA Cup matches unless they start installing it. I don't know what they're doing with the the lower leagues and the Championship next season for VAR. I'm sure they'll probably put it in the Championship grounds, but for the smaller ones, will they put it in? I don't know. I haven't heard anything on them doing it in
Probably
League
not.
1 and 2.
One of my friends said to me that today that they said that only VAR stadiums should be used for FA Cup.
Bit difficult though, isn't it? Because I mean, this is the problem. It becomes difficult because if you do think you can't really do that, because teams like Doncaster, teams like Barnet, for instance, who were in the last round, and Newport County, for instance, they're going to want home advantage. If they get home advantage, why are they going to want to go to a Premier League ground?
It would work, yeah.
And might they get more gate receipts? Maybe, but it's a neutral ground. I don't think they'd be working the same way. But then I think those teams would want home advantage.
Going from what one of my friends said, if let's say you had Newport, and we're doing the draw, Newport's been pulled out first against Crystal Palace, and then the game's going to be played at Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace is the Premier team. I think how unfair is that? But then what happens if Newport got pulled against Doncaster?
I mean, there used to be a time where that could be done if they didn't think the ground was big enough, or the actual non-league team or lower league team would ask to have it played in a bigger venue, in a neutral venue, so they could get more gate receipts in. There used to be a time when they used to do that. I don't think they would do it anymore. I think it's happened to us a couple of times where we've played a lower league team at Selhurst Park rather than playing at their ground, just so they get the away team gets or the home team gets a better gate receipts. But it's very rare. In this day and age, I mean, even
I want to give Doncaster a shout out. They did really well. The turnout was good. The team showed up. They didn't. We obviously respected them being the lower team, but they all guns blazing. They tried their best. They're not, for me, being an attacking team. Attack versus attack doesn't work for a lower team normally, it didn't work today for them. But they tried their best.
No, I thought they were a credit to League One today. They were fantastic. They went out and they played some really good football. They passed the ball around, like an established some of the established teams in the sort of the Championship. They're going to go. I think they'll go up this season. They played. I thought they played very, very well, and you can't fault them. A bit upset about the fact their fans didn't really make much noise. I think that was down to the way we played. More, it's a fact of once that goal went in on 8 minutes, it went pretty quiet there. But our fans were just superb throughout. So that just comes down to the last thing, really. Who do you want in the next round, Sean?
I'm really sad. I'm going to show you actually. I'm going to bring it out. So I've got a list here of teams that I wanted to come through to the next round, to the quarters, and I got every one of them right. It's really sad. And I've also done a draw. What's even more sad? And I think we're going to get Swansea at home.
Swansea at home.
I've also predicted Brighton play Millwall in the next round, so that'd be good.
That would be a good game, actually. Anyway, Sean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get Paul on for a final time. If I can't get him on, I'm going to leave it for the night. But thanks for coming on, mate, and I'll speak to you later. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Take care, mate. All right, okay. So we're going to try and get Paul Holdham on for one last time. Paul, if you can send your request, and I will do that. Evening, Michelle. I wasn't at the game, but Doncaster played very well. Yep, can't disagree. I thought they were very good. And I think there's a reply to Richie. Batman didn't do much, but he didn't have much of the service. I have to agree with that. I think the thing is, he needs to have someone. As I said to Laurie, I think we were speaking with Laurie earlier, when I said that he sort of is the sort of player that you want playing in those neat little triangles when you've got Wilf and Meyer and Schlupp working with you. It's a bit difficult when you've even got those sort of players around you that will pass the ball to feet. I mean, it's different when you've got IU out wide. He's more of a sort of central player. He's not really a winger. But I think that's probably the reason why I think today he didn't get much of the service at all, and he needs the ball to feet. And from what we've seen already in the games we've played in the Premier League, when he gets the ball to his feet, he's actually really good with the ball. and he can pull out something out of nothing. And Doncaster today had 4 players around him at times, and there's just no way. They knew what they were doing. They knew that he was there. He was our main threat, really, and they just crowded him out. And there was no way at points that he could really do it.